send you.
It's not.
Did it come through? Okay, because when I went back to make sure that I attached, it was trimmed. I don't even know what trimmed means, but I didn't see it.
You tell me, I'll run the show.
Maybe we could work on that. Okay.
All right, call to order.
Yeah, yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the roll.
Ms. Benitez?
Present.
Mr. Axiotis?
Here.
Ms. Persino?
Here.
Mr. Rufner?
Present.
Ms. Stimpert?
Here.
Do we have any changes to tonight's agenda?
Mayor, I do.
Please.
I have a motion to direct the city manager to provide a Christmas lunch to current employees and put it on the calendar for December.
We have a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Rufner, so that's Ms. Stimpert and Mr. Rufner. Any discussion on the motion to direct the city manager to hold a Christmas lunch for current employees in the month of December? Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Ms. Persino?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert?
Yes.
Pass 5-0. That will be added to the end of new business.
And then, Mayor, I have another motion.
Please.
I have a motion directing the interim city manager to negotiate with the Trumbull County Sheriff for police services. I'll second that.
Ms. Stimpert and Ms. Persino? Any discussion?
Please.
I just was hoping someone could kind of talk about that and fill us in, since it seems like it came out of left field a little bit.
We had a meeting today with the police chief, Jamie and Mr. Novotny, and at this time, actually, I'm hoping that later this evening we'll go into executive and have some conversations about what that looks like. But at this time, we have a lot of unknowns and what-ifs, and we need to provide a level of service until we get those things addressed and know exactly where we're going, and council's gonna need to make those decisions. So at this time, Mike will negotiate that and see what it looks like. We have a 60-day out if we do enter into a contract. So we need to get the ball rolling so that we have services come January 1.
Can I ask for a second? So are we saying that the current contract expires on the 31st
It
of
does.
December?
It
Correct.
does. Yes, it does. We are at a point where negotiations need to go on for a renewal or extension of the current contract so that we do have police coverage while we work through everything else.
May I just?
Yes, please.
Police Chief Fixler was in on this meeting and on these discussions and is in support of this, knowing we got a lot to do.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Ms. Persino?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert?
Yes.
And Ms. Benitez? Ms. Benitez? Yes. Pass 5-0. That will also be added to the end of new business.
All right, next we have a proclamation. This is a proclamation honoring the many volunteers who dedicated time, effort, and supplies to renovate and beautify the Newton Falls Skate Park. Proclamation says, whereas the Newton Falls Skate Park is an asset and a source of pride for the village of Newton Falls, and whereas the Newton Falls Skate Park had been vandalized with graffiti and needed general repairs, and whereas the Newton Falls Skate Park was recently renovated as advocated by Miss Rachel Rankin, principal of Newton Falls High School, and through the collaborative efforts of students and adult citizens with the support of the Parks and Recreation Commission. And whereas the village and its citizens wish to express their sincere appreciation and congratulations to the volunteers for the great effort to revitalize this cherished public space. Now, therefore, Mayor David Hanson, Council members Brian Axiotis, Patricia Benitez, Brenda Persino, Kevin Rufner, and Julie Stempert of the Village of Newton Falls, Ohio, and on their behalf and on behalf of the officials, employees, and citizens of the village, hereby express their sincere appreciation to the following people: all who have donated their time, effort, skills, and resources to making the Newton Falls Skate Park a beautifully revitalized public space for all to enjoy. Those people are Anonymous, Elena Billock, Jessica Donato, John Donato, Addison Garrow, Alex Garrow, Jennifer Garrow, Steve Horick, Aaliyah Ladd, Julie Lemon, Don Persino, Sierra Persino, Katie Peterson, Miles Peterson, Truman Peterson, Isabella Filstead, Rachel Rankin, Robert Robison, Autumn Swingle, and Zachary Thomas. In testimony, whereas I have heretofore set my hand and caused the seal of the Village of Newton Falls to be affixed this 20th day of August 2024. November 2024. Okay, let me fix this up.
Another one.
Do we have a proclamation for each of the volunteers?
Yes, we do.
We will have proclamations. There was obviously a clerical error there with the date, and then we'll need to get signatures from all of council. So we'll make those available as soon as they're
Can we do a
signed.
photo?
You folks are stuck here till the end of the meeting now.
Oh, that's cruel. That's cruel. Let's just get a picture. We're fun, but not that much fun.
All right.
Can we do a picture?
Yes,
Can
absolutely.
you guys come on
You
up?
guys come on up.
Me?
Come on up here.
Do I take the picture?
No, they're all in it.
No, I don't usually.
Kind of kids that dress
I mean, you're probably taller than me to get something that's not gonna cut threads. Go out in the hallway. Maybe from above.
got it. Really? See, the principal
good.
We got our rings redone, dipped. It's weird not having it there.
Yeah,
It's kind of nice, but it's weird.
well, I it took
I guess I can accept that.
what, 20 years, and then the divorce, and it took a number of years for the thing to come back.
Right.
around.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We can move on to public comments, agenda items only, and 3 minutes. Do we have any takers? Okay. With that, we'll move on to reports. Short report from me. Fellows from the rehab have been cleaning up around town, gotten some of the weeds that are in between the cracks in the sidewalk and up on the curbs, and they're doing a real nice job. And I think that's nice stewardship from the rehab and also young men that are participating in this. And I hope that all the merchants downtown and the citizens will welcome the hard work and participation. Okay, council, do we have anything, Brian?
I do.
Let her go first.
Oh, you go first.
All right. Sergeant Maroon, Maroun, is with the National Guard out here. And he spoke with me about the open house, which they had this past Sunday. And I was happy to say there were some people from Newton Falls there in attendance. And he mentioned that he would really like to, providing the higher-ups give him permission to be in the parade November 30th from the, when we have the Christmas parade. I already talked with Tom about that, and he's all excited. And then he even said that they would be willing to help us out or do something for us or with us on the 4th of July. So at least we're getting some different people involved in some of our activities. That's all I have.
I just wanted to comment, we still have an open position on the Treasury Investment Board, looking for a citizen within the city who would be interested in helping us out there. So if you are interested, please get with the city manager, kind of reach out and start the ball rolling on that. I did have a phone call from a concerned resident about some homeless person in our ward, and hopefully we can kind of look into that a little bit and maybe address that and see where that goes. If you do know of people who are in your areas that are homeless or setting up encampments or anything like that, please let us know. Give us a call. We're not always aware of that because sometimes they're in places we just don't know about. And then the last one she kind of touched on, which is on the 30th, is Christmas in the Falls. I believe it's the tree lighting ceremony for the city as well. That is from 6 to 8:30. Hopefully we can see a bunch of you out there and come out and enjoy the festivities.
Ms. Julie?
I have a bunch. So mainly from the fire board. Sorry. The fire board has been talking about a joint resolution since I have been seated in 2021. And yesterday, during our last meeting, we had conversation that it has been a 10-year work of progress, of lack of progress, maybe I want to say. So there's a joint resolution that Mr. Limbian shared with all of us. We can talk about it. I would really, really like to have that presented to council as an emergency. I spoke briefly with Mr. Limbian. He believes we can do that. The main reason, or a big part of why this resolution has taken so long to get accomplished, is the fire board, the way they're set up, is they have a representative from the city legislative branch, they have a representative from the township legislative branch, and then they have residents from both entities. And when they rotate around their board, there's more years than not that they have almost a whole brand-new board. So like in January, we had 2 people seated and a whole new fresh board. And so everybody kind of digs in. So I would encourage, read the joint resolution. Hopefully we can get it approved. If there's things that we want to look at down the road, it can be amended, but at least we have the outline, we have the resolution approved. Something that was talked about by Attorney Comstock, who is the legal representative for the fire board. He discussed that the legislative placements on the board serve 2-year rotations, but that doesn't line up with what we do here. And so I explained that to him, and Mr. Novotny was there as well, that doesn't work for us. We'd have to change completely how we do things. So I don't know that is feasible, but that's something that they want to consider or look at. So again, look at that, call me, we can discuss it, but I plan to present that as emergency legislation at the next meeting. The other big thing is First Street property. I've talked about that a few different times. We've signed the paperwork and that should be sold. Turkey raffle is Friday, 11/22, at 7 o'clock. If you haven't been there, it's fun. I never win anything, but it's still fun. And they have a $5 raffle tickets for a huge, what did you say there was 34?
Survival cooler.
Yeah, cooler of beverages. And again, I never win anything, but there it is. Chief reported last night, a huge thank you from our board and from the chief for the support for the levy that was just a couple weeks ago. We had the largest margin of approval in Trumbull County for that levy. So I think that speaks volumes. And lastly, the Newton Falls board, or the Newton Falls Joint Fire District Board will need a resident from the village to fill the board for January. So we'll be advertising at the next meeting, right? We'll have an advertisement to go out to accept applications from residents of Newton Falls to be seated on the board. I think that's all I have. That was a lot, sorry.
Okay. Ms. Brenda, you have anything for us?
Yes. And the group of young kids that you just seen standing up here, I have so much respect for those children. They're incredible. Each one took on a leadership role. If one of the seniors couldn't come, a younger classman would step in and fill those shoes. They worked so well together. They did an incredible job. If any of you haven't seen the skate park yet, I encourage you to take a walk out there and take a look at it. These kids really put their heart and soul into it. And it was a pleasure working with you students. You blew me out of the water. You're very respectful and you're such hard workers. And it was nice to see you all come together for our community like that. And I appreciate Mrs. Rankin for reaching out to us to allow you kids to renovate our skate park. And I hope that with this project done, I would love to see the city work and do more projects with our school, with our art departments, band. It would really be nice to start working with our students a little bit more. Now that I see that they're very much involved in our city. So it was incredible, and I thank you.
Real quick, attended the Newton Falls Area Commerce Association meeting last night. Obviously, a big topic of discussion on that was the hometown Christmas event and the Christmas tree lighting. With that, there's a lot of things going on that I'm not sure has really been advertised or promoted out there as it should. But as we stated earlier, they are having a parade. So they're actually actively encouraging people to volunteer, whether you want to walk, ride your bike, dress up your truck, whatever. Christmas it up. become part of the parade. They're gonna have food trucks, businesses are gonna be open, there's gonna be tents and stuff lined on Broad Street. It's just gonna be basically a full evening from 6 to 8:30 on November 30th of events and goings-on. And if you ever attended the last couple of years, regardless of the weather, it's a good time. You can gripe about the weather, but regardless, you're gonna have a good time. I encourage everyone to come out, support the local businesses, support the community, and it's just good to see everybody coming together. Again, the Minstrels Association, the Newton Falls Area Commerce Association, they stepped up and they're stepping in it this year. So they got the lead, they're running with it, and it's turning out really well. So I encourage everyone to come out. Mr. Lemmy, do you have anything to?
No, sir,
add
thank
tonight?
you.
Well, Mike, I know you've got some things to add here for us. Oh, Miss Jamie, I apologize. I bounced right over top of you. Do you have anything for us? I hope.
Is it because I'm short?
What's that?
You bounced right over me because I'm short?
No.
I'm only kidding. No, tonight I don't have anything. Thank you.
You don't bounce over anything when it's short, when you're my size. It's a bound, not a bounce. Did you have anything?
No, I do not,
all right.
Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
All right, Mike?
I've got a couple things. First of all, first thing is the letters that went out from the water department. The letters were, understand, first off, the letters were an EPA mandate. Prior to these letters going out, there were surveys sent out to the residents asking for a reply if it was known what the service line feeding their house was, whether it was a galvanized, a lead line, copper, plastic. Those surveys that came back in, a letter was sent to those residents just stating that you have a copper service line or a plastic, etc. The residents that did not reply to the survey then got a letter asking them to please set an appointment so that our people, our water department could come out, take a look, and see what their service line is. Again, this is statewide. This is a mandate from the EPA. It is every community water system is having to do this. So if you did get one of those letters, just reach out to the utility department, set an appointment. Our guys will come out, take a quick look, determine what your line is. It doesn't mean that you have lead in your water or anything like that. They need to do a quick look and see what your service line is made of. So the ongoing Jackson Street, last week the engineers were out and set all the pins for the area that we will be abandoning on that. Hopefully by next week or the week after, we will have the actual plat map, be able to get that to Mr. Limbian, and then it will be ready to go in front of planning and zoning for a recommendation to sign off on it, and then come back to council for the final legislation to do that. So it's taking some time. It's just it's all in scheduling and getting all the field work done. So next week we are going to, I've solicited some help from our utility departments. We're going to be working over in Veterans Park. I did locate some of the Christmas lights and things that were put up in the park previously. We're going to get those up and at least get what we can do over there in the park and get that decorated and some Christmas lights up over there, as well as we'll be working at this facility in the grounds here as well. So try to get in the holiday spirit and everything going here as well. Again, I was going to comment on the hometown Christmas, the annual Christmas tree lighting. Get everybody. There's a lot of the storefronts downtown that are already decorated. It looks really nice. Our electric department has put up our decorations and lights that we typically put on the poles and the what decorations they have and lights, and they've been working hard at getting that done. Everybody come out and enjoy the evening, participate. I know they've got a lot of things planned, again, there. The resident advertisement for a resident for the fire board, that is already out on the utility Facebook page, as well as I have gotten it to the clerk to get on the website, and we will get it out into the newspaper as well for a posting. So that is moving forward as well. I had set I believe it's to get responses by like December 6th or something like that, so that it can come in front of council by the second meeting in December and be ready to hopefully have a resident by the first of the year for that. Other than that, Ms. Stemper touched on yes, the fire department is having their annual turkey raffle. It is Friday, November 22nd at 7 p.m. If you've never been to one, come out. It's quite entertaining. So you've got a chance to win some free turkeys. That's all.
Thank you. All right. You now go into the approval of previous minutes, and that was the regular meeting minutes from November 6th, 2024.
I'll make the motion to approve those.
I'll second it.
Mr. Axiotis and Ms. Benitez? No discussion. Ms. Stimpert?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Persino?
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
All right, item 9, public hearings. This is ordinance 2024-45. This is an ordinance amending Newton Falls water rates effective January 1st, 2025 and January 1st, 2026.
I'll make the motion.
Public hearing.
Public hearing. There's no comments. So
What's that?
you can go to the next one.
Okay. All right, next we have ordinance 2024-47. This is an ordinance authorizing the Newton Falls interim city manager to enter into an agreement to purchase Eclair electric meters from Brownstone Electric Supply. Next, we have ordinance 2024-48. This is an ordinance authorizing the interim city manager to enter into an agreement to pay Pollard Land Services for overages incurred on the Scott Street sanitary sewer project. Ordinance 2024-49. This is an ordinance establishing the annual operating budget and setting forth the appropriations for 2025. And finally, ordinance 2024-50. This is an ordinance authorizing the interim city manager to enter into contracts specified herein for the purchase of chemicals needed by the village of Newton Falls Water. All right. Item 10 is unfinished business, and that is ordinance 2024-45. This is an ordinance amending Newton Falls water rates effective January 1st, 2025, and again, January 1st, 2026.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Exiotis and Mr. Rufner.
Please. Discussion. I just want to reiterate, if you didn't hear it the last time this was up, this was the result of a rate study that was done in 2021. The rates were supposed to go into effect in 2022, and there was supposed to be a rate increase scheduled for every year up until 2026. Unfortunately, there was only one rate increase, I think, in 2022, and then the other ones, for some reason, just were not done. The water department this year billed out $1.8 million for water. It cost us $2.2 million to generate that water at a loss. So we're running a loss in the water department. There is a water debt that will come off on January 1st of 2025, which I think is like $5.60 some per resident. The increase that we're making here should be about a wash for most residents. It will be within a couple dollars of each other, depending on usage and everything like that. So even though there's an increase, it should be hopefully minimal to your pocketbooks, but it is a necessary increase because we just can't continue to lose money in the water department.
All right.
Ms. Stimpert,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Ms. Persino,
No.
Mr. Exiotis,
Yes.
Ms. Benitez.
Yes.
Pass 4-1.
Okay, next is ordinance 2024-47. This is an ordinance authorizing the Newton Falls interim city manager to enter into an agreement to purchase Eclair electric meters from Brownstone Electric Supply.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Stimpert and Mr. Rufner.
Please, Mr. President.
And again, just to go back to the last meeting, these 80 meters that are being purchased are to finish out the AMI metering project. We've also talked with Mr. George of the department and said that this will provide us with excess meters for in the case or situation where the existing meter goes bad, something happens, has to be replaced. We're not going down to zero spare, so to say, but we're also being responsible and not having an excess of spares either. So this will allow us to finish out, close out, and basically end that AMI metering process that we ended up picking up as far as the utilities go to finish that install. So again, this is part just to close that out.
Mr. Exiotis,
Yes.
Ms. Persino,
Yes.
Ms. Benitez,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
and Ms. Stimpert.
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
All right, next is ordinance 2024-48. This is an ordinance authorizing the interim city manager to enter into an agreement to pay Pollard Land Services Incorporated for overages incurred on the Scott Street sanitary sewer project.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Ms. Stimpert and Mr. Exiotis.
Discussion?
Can I just, Mike, can you weigh in? I know you were looking at possibly getting us paid back for this. Is that moved anywhere or?
It's, I still have heard nothing from the county. This overage stems from, we ended up having to extend the sanitary sewer. There was one single residence that was left off of the project. The new sewer line came down one street that butts up to his property, came across the other street. He lives right on the corner, and there was never any extension far enough to pick up his residence. And, the septic system does need replaced. The septic, that's one of the ones that drains right straight to the river. So we needed to extend that line and pick up. We couldn't leave this resident out there on an island, not knowing when, if and when it would get there. So that's what this was from.
Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Ms. Persino?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stemper?
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
Next, we have ordinance 2024-49. This is an ordinance establishing the annual operating budget and setting forth the appropriations for 2025.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Rufner and Mr. Axiotis?
Any discussion?
Ms. Persino?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stemper?
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
Next, we have ordinance 2024-50. This is an ordinance authorizing the interim city manager to enter into contracts specified herein for the purchase of chemicals needed by the Village of Newton Falls Water.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Ms. Benitez and Mr. Axiotis?
Any discussion?
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Ms. Persino?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stemper?
Yes.
And Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
All right, next we have item 11, which is new business. Oh,
Did we do 2024-50?
We just did.
Chemicals?
That's the one we just
That's
done.
what we just
did
did.
we just do that one?
Chemicals?
Yeah.
Yep. I think we did.
We did, yeah, they're purchasing chemicals.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
You've got your two motions.
What?
Your two motions that you added to new business.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
There.
That's what it is, chemicals. And then- So the first motion was, if I can read it, please.
Well, do we want to do the ordinance that's on there first? Or do you want the motion?
you're right.
For new business?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Mhm.
Good to go.
You're good to go.
All right. All right. Item 11, this is new business, ordinance 2024-51. This is an ordinance authorizing the Newton Falls interim city manager to enter into an agreement for 2024 tree trimming of city electric department circuits by Hilscher Clark Electric.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Axiotis and Mr. Rufner?
Any discussion? Call that roll.
Ms. Persino?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stemper?
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
And Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
Mr. Acom, do you need those motions, or do you have them?
I believe I have them. The first motion, do you have it? Do you want to just go ahead and read it?
I can. A motion to direct the city manager to provide a Christmas lunch to current employees and put it on the calendar for December.
Is that are you making the motion?
Yes. I'll make the motion to direct the city manager to provide a Christmas lunch to current employees and put it on the calendar for December.
Perfect, thank you.
And I'll,
Ms. Persino, seconds. Any discussion?
Please.
I think this is a great idea and show some appreciation to our employees. And then also Jamie had stated there's about 60, so we'll feed about 60 employees.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Ms. Stemper,
Yes.
Ms. Persino,
Yes.
Mr. Exiotis,
Yes.
Ms. Benitez.
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
I'd like to make another motion, directing the interim city manager to negotiate with the Trumbull County Sheriff for police services.
I second that.
That's Ms. Stemper and Ms. Persino. Any discussion? Ms. Stemper,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Ms. Persino,
Yes.
Mr. Exiotis,
Yes.
Ms. Benitez.
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
All right, item 12, public comments. Anybody have any public comments? All right. And we'll move on to closing remarks. The mayor, of course, has no closing remarks. We'll move on to council members.
I just did want to weigh in on, the rate increase for the water department. One of the things I ran on is, trying to control rates for the utilities and trying to, make it economical for the city and the residents. And, unfortunately, there's sometimes very little you can do. I mean, especially in light of all the recent increases we've seen for food and housing and everything else. The water department's just equally been affected in terms of what it uses for chemicals and everything else. I'm not a fan of rate increases if I can avoid it, but one of the things I just want to say is, there was some discussion on Facebook that people had about, rates and cost and whatnot. When it comes to our water department, we're basically selling the water at cost. There is no profit built in. It's not a money generator for the city. It's just literally selling it at cost. And I did some quick and dirty looking. Typically, if we were to ever explore selling, let's say, our water department, it more than likely would be bought by a company like Aqua Ohio or somebody. I went out and looked at what other cities that are currently serviced by Aqua Ohio pay, and for what we, I did a 4,500 gallons per month usage, and we were still way cheaper, even with the rate increase. So, it's kind of hard to beat. When you're paying that cost for something and there's no profit motive in there, it's hard to argue. So in this case, I have no problem passing it because I know what's out there and I know what the alternative is, and it isn't pretty. So, thank you.
Ms. Pat, do you have anything?
I've already said my speech.
Ms. Julie?
We got lots of things going on in town. Come out and join us. I'm excited for the 30th and turkey raffle, although I don't win anything. And our next fire board meeting will be December 16th at 6 o'clock at the Township Hall. That's all I have.
Ms. Brenda, do you have anything?
Yeah. I also wanted to say thank you to our volunteers and those who made donations to that project. Without them, a lot of that couldn't have gotten done. The sanding alone, that took a lot of adult strength to get some of that sanding done. So I appreciate you guys more than what you know. Also, support your local small and big businesses. There's some really awesome deals out there right now because it's right around the holiday times. So get out there and support them. We got the downtown small market, small businesses, and we got K&K Market, and we got the distillery. Stop in, wet your whistle before you go on to the next one. And, then you got IGA and Shop and Save. They got some really awesome fruit and cracker plates. Guns and Hoses does a really good job with their vegetable trays. K Market also. Vinnie's, get out there, we got some really cool restaurants. Gotta plug those restaurants. Then we got Vinnie's, and you got Mi Amigos, you got Covered Bridge. So, it's the weekend, get out and shop.
Just real quick, special recognition again going out to the volunteers. The faculty, the staff supporting them, encouraging them, providing them with this opportunity, the adults that were out there with them, and the young adults that actually got out there and participated. It's great to see volunteerism coming back. As Brenda stated earlier, I really hope this is something we can work with the school and in general in the community to bring back that small town feel, the I don't want to say camaraderie, but the family type environment. So leading into that, come on out November 30th, enjoy some time up for the tree lighting ceremony. Also take advantage of every Friday between now and Christmas is a pseudo late night in the falls event. Majority of the smaller businesses uptown are going to stay open later. Stop in, check out their goods, see what you got. And again, you find some really unique items that, you don't find in the big box stores. You get the personal touch, whether it be at the, stained glass, or whether it be the woods and goods, or maybe any number of the antiques up there with Tom. The holiday isn't always about the gifts. It's never about the gifts, honestly. But the thing is, yeah, well, you get gifts. I get cold. But anyways, support the local businesses, as Brenda said. They rely a lot on these residents in our community. So wholeheartedly step out. And again, if you see us out there, stop us. Talk to us. Brenda's mean once in a while, but most of us will talk to you. So, but that's all I've got.
Miss Jamie, do you have anything for us?
No, I don't have anything at this time.
Don't forget about you this time.
Thank you.
Mr. Lemmy, do you have anything, sir?
Nor do I, sir, thank you.
No, I do not.
Mike,
No,
you're out
I'm-
too, okay. All right, do we need a motion to recess into executive session tonight?
I would like to make a motion to recess into executive for the purpose of personnel. I would like to have Jamie, Chief Fixler, and Mr. Novotny join us.
Need a second.
I'll second it.
Ms. Benitez? And Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert?
Yes.
Ms. Persino?
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Pass 5-0, 6:48 PM.
He left his phone.
Hey, Jamie, I have a room available if you want to spend the night.
I know, isn't it great? Well, here's the thing, I've been up pretty early. My daughter went in, she decided last minute to schedule her wisdom teeth to come out, so on Monday, she's scheduled for today. So this morning, when you stopped to see me, that's where I was. I was at the oral surgeon picking her up and dragging her home. Well, then I had to leave her at home, and I sent her a message and I said, did you remember? She had to change her gauze every half an hour. She's like, well, I did that part, Mom, but then I fell asleep, so she didn't take her pain meds. So then she's panicking because everything's hurting, and I'm here, and I had taken her good pain meds, and I hid them.
Next meeting is in December.
So I only left her with the ibuprofen and the Tylenol because they said she'd be good until tomorrow. And I didn't want her to get sick, like throw up when I wasn't there, so I didn't give her anything good. So here I am, I'm like taking meds to try to stay awake. I'm working on it, it's good. We'll be all right.
Is unpaid.
Call that speed.
Yeah, it's
Early mid-snow.
Call the meeting to order, Mayor.
All right.
We can leave.
Make my papers go.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn from executive session.
I'll second that.
Mr. Rufner and Ms. Stimpert. Ms. Benitez,
Yes?
Mr. Axiotis,
Yes.
Ms. Persino,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert.
Yes.
Passed 5-0, 7:52 PM.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
Ms. Stimpert and Ms. Persino. Mr. Axiotis,
Yes.
Ms. Benitez,
Yes.
Ms. Persino,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner, yes. Ms. Stimpert.
Yes.
Passed 5-0, 7:52 PM.
So,
Meeting adjourned.
That? Oh, my God.
We gotta sign these proclamations. When are we gonna sign them then? Oh,
Did I sign that wrong, Mike?
all right.
when you
Well,
get to
it's up to you. I don't. Well, half your crew's leaving.